Welcome back to Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement, here with the monthly panel, the Honorable Joe Oliver, the Honorable Gary Marr. Joe, we were just talking about supply chain and Canada's ability to be part of the solution. Your thoughts on this?
Well, look, I agree with what Gary said, and it's really a national tragedy that we haven't been able to do what we can do, uh, which is responsibly develop our natural resources. It's cost us jobs, economic growth. It's hurt inflation. It's promoted divisiveness regionally, and it's hobbled us in our ability to help our allies at an absolutely critical time. This doesn't have to happen, particularly since what we're doing isn't really helping the environment. If we had an opportunity to sell more of our natural gas, we would help our allies get off coal, which they're increasingly going to right now during the terrible energy crisis Europe is suffering from, and that would reduce net global emissions. So the policies are just totally wrong-headed, expensive, and ineffective.
But one thing that was interesting about what Krista Freeland had to say when she was in Washington at the Brookings Institute a week or so ago was that she said, our European allies really helped us out when Canada needed vaccine supply. And so in a reciprocal way, when they need to respond. I hope that's not just a lip service to that. I hope that she believes that and that she wants to help accomplish that, because in a very real way, as Joe said, we could be reducing, emissions in Germany where they are recommissioning coal power plants. And we could be supplying them with the gas that they need and the industries that they need, that need natural gas in order to run a whole host of different industries in Germany. So this is Vladimir Putin has weaponized energy, and we need to do our part to help out our allies who have been helpful to us.
Speaking of allies, of course, Canada-U.S. trade relations are critically important, always will be. Of course, we've got the U.S. midterm elections happening on November 8th. Joe Oliver, any predictions how that will impact on Canada and our bilateral relationship?
Well, it looks like there's been a recent surge, a resurge towards the Republicans, and it's highly likely they're going to win in the House of Representatives, and it's starting to look like they just may well win the Senate as well. And this could create some pretty fundamental changes inside the country with implications for Canada. One of the things that we're dealing with right now is President Biden's so-called Inflation Reduction Act, which doesn't really reduce inflation, but has put hundreds of millions of dollars in support of green energy projects. And now we're hearing that the Canadian government feels it has to match that proportionately, and so we may see more of that kind of spending in the indicated in the economic statement. So whether a change in the two houses will reverse that, it could have real implications, for Canada. But we're going to be increasingly lonely in our obsession with achieving net zero. When I'm wondering whether there's any other countries in the world who are, aside from talking about it, are actually doing very much. And the United States may be the next one to fall.
Well, I'm afraid, Gary, you're going to have to add your comment next month because we are officially out of time. I'm sure this will be an ongoing conversation, not to fret. But gentlemen, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
Insightful comments from Joe Oliver and Gary Marr there about the future of our economy, interest rates, obviously, recession and cost of living, and then moving on from that to supply chain and our bilateral relationship with the United States. Lots going on. I'm sure this, as I said, will be an ongoing conversation. Thanks for being with us today, however. Thanks for watching.